Good evening, everybody. I am super excited to be on with you guys tonight. And I know when we first announced this to y'all that we were going to have a super duper superstar guest, you guys were all really excited too, and I'm sure she won't disappoint. But okay, so we're going to go ahead and let Michelle share her heart. I kind of left it open for her to share what she's excited about right now, and I kind of gave her a couple ideas. She wondered what I feel my team needs. And when I gave her a couple ideas, she's like, yes, that's right down my line. So she's all fired up and ready to go. So go ahead and share with us, Michelle. We'll get you unmuted there.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so first of all, Charlotte, Brenda, thank you guys for just inviting me on tonight. I feel like anytime that you're in the presence of people, I mean, we're all in this together. Like, I always just feel I love people's stories. So, I mean, just thank you for letting me share mine, and hopefully it inspires some people in here tonight. And today was a little bit surreal. I feel like I've had a lot of time to reflect today because I have been in Plexus for over 4 years now. And I hit diamond, and it took me about 2.5 years to hit diamond. And they did my diamond documentary already, but because of compliance and because they're refreshing things, Kevin came back to our town today and reshot some of my video, and he's implementing some new stuff, some new interview questions, and I feel like that the new diamond documentaries that are going to be released are going to be even more effective. Like, they're going to be more inspiring because they're going to give even more tips and inspiration. So I want to just kind of plant that out there because I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. Kevin came today, and he's been in corporate, and there's so much stuff going on, he said, right now. And at corporate, he said there is good stuff on the horizon. So I wanted to give you that message because it's always such an inspiration, for me. We all are in our own towns. We're all in our own places. We all have our heads down. We're working. And sometimes we just get that little bit of inspiration from corporate or someone that's with the executive team. It just gives us a little bit more fire in our bellies to go out there and work a little bit harder because the company is hearing us and they're doing the right things. And I was pretty emotional about that today, and I felt pretty excited. So I want to share that with you guys. But 4 years, a little over 4 years ago, I was and am a stay-at-home mom. But before that, I had worked 10 years in corporate. So I was a worker. I liked working in corporate. I liked working up the corporate ladder. That's actually my personality. I like someone saying, good job. You're doing a great job, and you can work harder. And I like that. And, but I had 3 kids. I have a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old, and they were being raised by other people. And towards the end of my 10 years, my husband and I came together, and, we just believed that God was telling us that I was supposed to be at home. Financially, it made no sense. I was making the majority of the money. I had the retirement, the insurance, and we knew that this was an act that we were having to walk out in faith. And that was a very principled thing that we were going to do. And it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but we believed God, and we believed He was going to provide a way. And so I quit my job. We planned, and I quit my job, and I took on babysitting kids. My husband took on a second job. We did what it was going to take to make ends meet. And we felt like it was just, God really met us during that time. And at some point during that, I get this call from a little country bumpkin in Nashville, outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and her name's Sonia Dudley. Some of you may know her. But anyway, Sonia Dudley was my friend from Nashville, and she called me, and she's like, Michelle. She called me the day she joined right after she joined from Helen. And she said, Michelle, I'm doing this thing called Plexus. It's going to be amazing. And she had talked me into something else before. And I told her, I said, never again. You're never going to get me ever again. You're never going to wine and dine me into one of these companies, And I was like, I was so intense. And I said, no. So I watched her for 3 months. And basically, during that time, I saw her, get off the medication, lose the weight, all of those good things. But what really got me into Plexus was that she was quitting her job and had replaced her income to be full-time at home making money. And here I was at home with no money. And, some people have this dream, and my dream was just to be a stay-at-home mom with money. I mean, that was literally my dream. I don't have like lots of, we don't have tons of just like aspirations for lots of possessions. Like that's not really, I just want to be able to pay all the bills and do whatever I want. Like that was just my thing. I wanted to just be there for my kids and just to not have the stress that wore on us. And so my friend was quitting her job, and she posted that on Facebook, and she tagged me in it. And anyways, so she tagged me in it. My sister saw it. I joined Plexus after that because she showed me the money. My personality, if you've read the color personality, I'm pretty red. And so I was driven by the business. And so when I joined, I needed to lose some weight. I had that 20-pound weight loss that I wanted, but I was motivated and driven to help my family financially. And so when I first got started, I really am an all or nothing person. So before I joined, I was nothing to the point of can't stand you guys that are in Plexus. And then when I joined, I was like totally drinking the Kool-Aid. So there was never really a point that I was like turned on. It was like as soon as I clicked join, I'm all in. And that was truly what it was for me. Now, I was all in, but I had no network marketing experience, and I was fearful out of this world. Like I had so much fear that, Sonia still says to this day, Sonia and Helen say that my story was one of their most favorite stories, because if you look at where I was 4 years ago, I mean, you can look now, I'm a Diamond Ambassador, I can speak or whatever, but I promise you would not recognize me if you would go back 4 years ago. Like, I'm not the same person. And so, and that always gets me emotional, because I believe if you want this and if you are motivated, then you can do it afraid. And you can do everything afraid to the point that you will reach the goals and you will have the success that you're looking for. And that's where I was. Like, I just did, one of the biggest fears that I had when I was getting started was putting myself out there. I told Sonia over and over again that I wasn't her. Like, that's not me. I don't share when I go to the bathroom on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, she shares about every little thing. I'm not an oversharer. I don't want to tell people what to do or give people like opinions. I don't comment on everybody's posts telling them which color I like the best. I just, it's just not me. Like, I don't need all of that communication. And so I would tell her, like, I don't have it in me. I don't want to put myself out there. And I will tell you that although I didn't think that was me, I have been able to grow and push myself beyond some boundaries that I thought that I had. And I found that, that God had given me a lot of talents that I really wasn't using. And a lot of fears that really were brought on by people. And I didn't have to have those fears over my life. I didn't have to have all of those things that were really holding me back. And when I've been able to grow past a lot of that, it's impacted everything in my life. Before Plexus, I wouldn't even stand up and play charades, like in front of my family. Like, I was so fearful of what people thought. Like, I couldn't even stand up. Like, I just, like, the perfectionism, like the fear, like just standing up in front of someone, like, would almost overtake me. I'm past that, like, I can do that. I can make a fool of myself. This last Christmas, we went and had Christmas with Tim's family, and they're like the Von Trapp family or something. Like, they all sing and like 20-part harmony and stuff. And they're like just musicians. And I can't sing to save my life. Well, they decided to do karaoke. I would have never in my wildest dreams ever get up there and do karaoke in front of them. Like, there's just no way. And this year I was just like, shoot, I'll do it, whatever. And I know that's Plexus. Like, I know that is growth in this past 4 years of not being fearful, but also being confident, knowing who I am, not being so scared. And so anyways, I don't know. I had no idea I was going to talk about all that. Anyways, Brenda, do you want to like lead me, or what do you want me to do?
No, that was perfect. I'm sitting here thinking, yes, people need to hear that. The reason I bring Diamond Ambassadors on as guest speakers once in a while is because we all started at different places and at low places. And we started as an ambassador, and then we were a silver, and we've walked the journey, and we've had to do the personal growth, and we know what it's like. And I just love that you were so honest and relatable with that. Yeah, it was obviously, yeah, there's people already popping in with the chat saying they needed to hear it. Now, I did have, didn't I, a few questions I shot your way. Let me bring those up. Yeah, you talked about some of the biggest obstacles. Now we want to hear, what would you say were some of the key factors in your success for getting to Diamond?
Okay. One of the things that I was just going to, one of the things I loved when you said, you know, we all start at the beginning, you know, and we all move forward. One of my favorite things that Sarah Robbins said is that, you know, people see diamonds or people that are successful, they see the glory. Like, you can see, you know, you see the glory of it, but you have no idea the struggle. And when I guarantee you, every person that's on this call, like, I can 100% tell you that every person that is successful has went through a lot of struggles. Like, nobody is without those dark times, or nobody's without those dips, or those times where you feel like there's moments of like, I want to give up. Like, there's nobody that reaches. I mean, some people may have gotten there faster. I mean, okay, like, someone says I'm sorry, I am feeling a little bit preachy tonight. I don't know, it must be it's late. I kind of wake up at night, so I'm not a morning person. If this was like in the morning, I would be done already. So anyways, but some people, like, they like go faster, you know, like Sonia Dudley, you know, she went to the top. So when I joined her, I couldn't even keep up with her. It was so fast. But she went through 18 years with another company, and she was in bed for 2 years sick. Like, she went through the struggles. Like, there are, no matter what you are, like where you are, if you're a leader or you're at the top, you're seeing the glory, but you have no idea the struggles. So if you're going through a struggle, get through it. Like, you can get through the struggle to get to the glory, and every person, no matter who you are, can do that. So my keys to success that I wrote down, I would say the biggest things to help me get to Diamond was competing with myself. I think that's, you know, that they say, like, don't look, you know, don't compare your journeys. And I would agree with that to the point, but I would say the biggest thing to do is, you know, because it is, you know, sometimes it is inspiring, encouraging to look at other people and see their journey. I mean, you know, you don't want to not look around to see what other people are doing, because that's how we learn and grow. But I would say that the biggest key to that is to compete with yourself. Be better today than you were yesterday. Be solution-based. We have one of the biggest keys for Tim and I is that we don't complain. Like, we can't be negative, and we can't complain, and without a solution. And Tim's better at it than I am. Like, I have my moments where I'm weak, and he's like, no. Because here's the thing, we say you can never complain to your downline, right? And so, you know, if you have something to talk about, you have to go to your upline. Well, Tim's my downline, and then I'm his upline. So he says, so if he comes to me and starts complaining, then our whole household is going down. Because if Tim starts complaining, then that means, like, the ship is going down, and that's really bad, because that's just his personality. He doesn't complain about things. And if I start complaining to Tim, then we're just living in this constant negative cycle. And he said, so if I can't complain to anybody, then you don't need to complain to anybody. Then the reality is that nobody really needs to complain. You really need to start looking for some solutions and just keep on moving. Anyways, that's one of my keys. My second one is never giving up, no matter what, because there's going to be times when you feel like it. And there's been seasons in our business where we've went backwards, and we've had to recover, rebuild, regrow. And during just one of the things that when I wrote down, because and I think this might help somebody, because I want to share this. When I hit Emerald, I was a little over a year into my business. I hit Emerald, and that was awesome. You know, things were hopping and popping, and we had that original accelerator. I don't know if any of you all were around during that time, but, you know, it was like crack. Like, I felt like, you know, like, and a lot of people and my team had built the business based on that. Well, soon after Emerald, my husband was close to, he was close to Ruby and then Senior Ruby. Like I was on pace to hit Diamond like several months after I hit Emerald. Like I was like on a trajectory. And so my husband, we decided to go all in. We had just went to our first leaders retreat. Eric Worre was there, and Eric Worre talked about going all in and this 90 days of commitment and all this stuff. And I'd never been so inspired. And I come back from that leaders retreat and I tell Tim, and I'm like, if I've done this in 11 and a half months, what could we do together? And it was like one of those moments, like we're going to take on the world, you know, double diamond, here we come, you know, it was going to happen. So he quits his job. And the reality is that like, I'm not recommending this, but see, when our situation was, we lived in Florida, Tim had a job. It really wasn't panning out to be what we had thought it was. And so we were looking, Plexus was giving us the opportunity really that we were looking for. I mean, we were looking for an opportunity. And so, you know, a lot of people have good, solid jobs. And so we recommend, you know, keeping that. But for us, this was an opportunity to run with. And I could move back to be by family because Florida was really far away from family. So anyways, I just want to give you that background because I say he quit his job, we went all in. So he did quit his job and go all in. And then our product changes. We lose a product. And literally the bottom starts falling out of my team. Like we start losing people on our team. And I start panicking because I'm like, what's going to happen? You know? And I told Tim, I'm like, go back to work. Like, this isn't happening. Like fear started to set in. And I'm like, I almost would get up every day. Like I couldn't breathe. Like I've lost you, whatever. And Tim looked at me one day and he's like, we've already chosen success. Like we've already chosen it. And he's like, we just have to succeed now. Like there's nothing that can stop us. And at that point, he's like, what can we do? So that's when we started Rock the Pink Live on YouTube. At that point, we started, you know, like creating, hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to give you a quote. So necessity is the mother of invention, you know? And so here's the reality. If you, like, we were all in, like we could not choose to do anything but to succeed. And so we started figuring it out quick. And the reality is I've had my most growth since we lost that product. And the business has thrived. And so, you know, this last year, looking through some of the things that we went through as a company and some of the challenges, like God taught us that like early on, you know, that we've already chosen success. So no matter what the challenges are, we've chosen success. I understand that there's difficulties. There's things that have happened, you know, some orders, you know, different things that we deal with. We have to work our business different this moment than we did last year. Or we have to, you know, we have to grow and we have to work through challenges and things, but we've already chosen success. Like that's the bottom line. And if you have that mentality that you've already chosen it, then you'll get up in the morning and you'll do what you can control. And there's things that you can control and there's things that you can't control. And the things that you can't control, if you focus on those things, then that's where doubt and fear and all kinds of insecurity comes in. And that's when you feel stuck. And that's when you're not going to move forward. But if you focus on what you can control and what you're in the right mindset, then you will continue to move and grow. Boom. Okay. So the third thing, the reason why how I got to Diamond, I think I only said two things. I said a lot of things. The third thing was, and how long, I think I'm probably at my time limit. How long do I have?
You're doing great. Hey, everybody's loving this. The comments are popping on so fast I can't even keep up with them. People are loving it. So we just go for it.
Okay, I just have a few more things. Okay, so the third thing about going to Diamond was, I believe a big key for me was creating a positive culture on my team page and my team, and a vision. You know, they say that without a vision, people perish. And also, you know, like if, as far as on your team goes, like I feel like the difference between one person and 100 people is vision. You know, if they don't see them going somewhere, then they go away. And so if you can create a culture of, like, Tim and I are like super culture like freaks. Like, we just love, like, rock the pink. We love to create a team spirit. We love to cheer people on. We love praise. And we don't stand for any negativity, like nothing. And it's just, like, I 100% believe that it's just the key. I mean, have you ever been around the person that you are around and they're just negative and it sucks the life out of you? It's just the same way on a team page. If you see negativity, people won't go there. They don't, I mean, you don't want to be around a person that's negative. So why would you want to be in a business that's negative? Just don't post it at all in any of the pages. Like, I don't care what page you're on, because chances are, if you have like that much negativity, it's, I mean, go to God with it. I just blew. Go to God with it. Okay. Okay. So the last thing is, the last question you ask is, what would you tell someone if they felt stuck? Is that right, Brenda?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I would tell you that, sorry. Okay. So the question was if they were feeling stuck, and I would focus on the part of the feeling, because, I think that, you know, you're like, if you don't feel like you love someone, but you choose to love, you know, like you have it's choice. And so just like if I go back to, I'm choosing success. If you choose success, then you're not going to focus on the feeling, because I'm going to tell you what, when I wake up in the morning, sometimes I don't feel like contacting 10 people today. I don't feel like getting on this training call. I don't feel like coaching someone's negative attitude for the 25th time that they won't change. Like, there's just things that you don't like. I don't feel like making dinner. I can't stand making dinner. Like, I seriously don't ever feel, well, sometimes maybe when it's like chili or something really easy and I know I'm going to get a lot of praise for it because they love it. But like, I never feel like making dinner. Like, I never feel like doing laundry. Like, but I want my family to have clean clothes. You know, I want them to be blessed. I want them to feel like there's peace in our home, and I want my husband to be happy. And if he doesn't have dinner, he's not happy. So what we want is something that sometimes we don't feel like doing. And so when I think about somebody that feels stuck, generally they're focusing on their feelings, for one thing, too much. And the second thing is you need to go back to the basics. If you are feeling stuck, here's some things. Actually, I've just revisited this for ourselves, because, I mean, just going to keep it real. Like, in my mind, we should have been double diamond right now, a double diamond household, my husband and I. So, you know, I can say that I feel stuck sometimes, that we aren't moving as fast as we want to go. But I'll tell you what keeps me motivated, because although my points aren't moving to where they want to go, I'm not stuck. Like, I'm personally not stuck. And the reason is because I stay in activity that keeps me motivated and it keeps me moving forward. And I believe that if you're always talking to new people, then you can't be down. I generally find that people that feel the most down and discouraged are not doing income producing activities. Because if you're doing income producing activities that then you're excited and you're passionate and you're getting new customers and new ambassadors, you don't have time to feel stuck, because you have, it just doesn't make sense. Like, when I was an Emerald Ambassador and I was stuck at Emerald Ambassador, and I was like reaching out to Sarah Marble and Helen McFadden, and I'm just like, how do I get there? I feel like I have to get there, and blah, 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 blah. And they were like, go recruit 10 people and we won't even be talking like this. And so I just went on a mission. I recruited 16 people and I went to Diamond. I mean, it didn't just happen like that, but it just does. Because like activity, I don't know, let me write it down. Okay. So first of all, one of the things that, like, I've been in this little like advanced leadership thing by Leslie Zan, and I really, really have loved it. But she talks about, first of all, feeding yourself first before you feed your team. So which I think is so important, that we need to be feeding ourselves. So feeding ourselves in personal development and growth so that we have something to give, and also feeding ourselves by, prospecting, reaching out to people, and, personally sponsoring, recruiting, getting customers ourselves before we even focus on the coaching and the teaching and the training. I mean, you have to do that. But too many times people tend to do that because that seems easier than it does the other stuff. The other stuff is what seems like that gets put on the back burner, or they respond to messages on their team. So feed yourself first before you feed your team. And then the second thing is that create wins for yourself. So if you feel stuck, I want you to just do something. First of all, don't focus on the feeling, because I have something to read you. Okay. Now this will take some following. You have to follow this. So it's easier to act your way into a different realm of thinking than it is to think your way into a different level of acting. Okay, so that's like really, and it's not faking it. I mean, you're not faking anything, but how many times have you I don't want to go to the opportunity meeting. I really just want to get my pajamas on and stay home. And then you go and you're can't even sleep that night because you're so excited. I mean, so if you think about that, so it's easier to act your way into a different realm of thinking than it is to think your way into a different level of acting. So what does that mean? Thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it rarely changes action. What changes action is when you do it. When you make the move you can create with activity is a movement that changes the way that you think. So basically, a lot of us struggle because maybe we feel stuck. The only way to get unstuck is to start moving. Act until you're actually so excited you're not stuck anymore. Because being stuck is a mentality. I just talked to someone the other day and she's like, I'm not recruiting because I can't keep myself up. You might as well give up. I mean, you seriously just go recruit somebody. You're never going to get over that. You have to just act. And then boom, action does cure everything. I saw that comment. And then, so yeah, I mean, I think I covered a lot. Brenda, I mean, do you want me to say, yeah, I could go on all night. And I did write down here, growth is in the action. So many people read personal growth books until they might as well, I don't know how their brain is handling it all. But there's no action. And I believe that your real growth comes through the action. You can't learn all those things unless you actually apply them to your life. And so I would say, if you want to personally grow, just start doing something, and you will grow through that action. Or read a book, act. Little bits of personal growth. If you're a real big reader but not a big actor, cut back on your reading. Only read 10 minutes a day and then challenge yourself to act for 45 minutes. And so, I think sometimes people get more into the wanting to know all the things. I don't need to know all the details, so that wasn't my problem. But some people like to know every nitty-gritty thing, and then they're not doing enough of the acting, and then they wonder why they're not getting anywhere. So you have to act to get somewhere.
Bam, bam, bam. You just hit the nail on the head over and over. And to add to your last thought there about acting, you expressed in the beginning how you were refused to do anything in front of people. And the only way you got out of that was by acting, by practicing. And so that all plays into, I think Michelle is trying to tell us people that she acted her way into success. And you know what we mean by that, not faking, fake action. She did it with action. And Michelle, this is just, and my team knows, this is where I hammer at home too. My quote I've said over and over is action cures everything. And I was just jotting down notes. And guess what a lot of these words are? Choose, chosen, act, action. One of my other favorite quotes is act as if there is no option. Just like you said, you chose success. Therefore, you acted that way. So if there was no other option, this is our path. And so why would I even do anything that wouldn't be fitting to that? So anyway, you said enough. I don't need to keep saying. I'm just I'm overflowing. Charlotte, do you want to share anything?
I think that we're going to put this in the group files as required for all
Yes.
of the listeners
Yes.
to watch. And so this was amazing. Everybody, just what we needed to hear. So we really appreciate it.
Yes.
Well, I've loved it, and I do pray that it's a word in season for a lot of people in their business. So
It is. It
y'all.
definitely is. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. It really means a lot that you took time to share. Thank you. Thank you.
No worries. My boys are all watching basketball, so it's all good.
Okay. Awesome. All right. We'll see y'all next week, everybody.
Thank
Good night, Michelle.
you. Good night.
Right.